Hey friends, good Sunday evening to you all. Hopefully everybody's had a wonderful weekend and a lovely Sunday out there. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter, and in this evening edition, we're going to be talking about the short-term weather forecast, what to expect over the next few days with our temperatures, precipitation, then looking at a new snowstorm by the end of the week and next weekend, followed by your long-range forecast in through the middle of February. If you do enjoy these forecasts, make sure to pop a like in the give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Both are absolutely free to do. They don't cost a penny. And without further ado, let's get into the forecasts. Yes, here is the snowfall season to date that we have seen, and we have seen a lot of snow across the Great Lakes and the Northeast this season. It was a slow start at first across the Northeast, but we really picked up that slack here in the past month in January, and we also did see some southern snow. We saw some snow down here in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even over into the Carolinas recently, where over a foot of snow has fallen into portions of North Carolina with our most recent winter storm. Now, here is the northern hemisphere. In blue is your snow cover, the orange is the ice cover, and notice the Arctic Circle, at least at this point, is completely covered with ice. Hudson Bay, much of the lakes in Canada, and even some of the Great Lakes, especially Lake Erie, has been mostly covered with ice now, which is limiting the lake effect snow with Lake Erie so far here in early February. Here's what we got going for us this evening, and notice we got some higher elevation snow into the Pacific Northwest, the Cascades in Washington State, lower elevation rain. The snow is in blue, the rain is in the green, as we go through tonight, we're going to see more snow developing across Montana, but also across the Great Lakes region, from Lake Superior down through the UP of Michigan, over Lake Michigan, and then that will be moving over the lower peninsula of Michigan as we go in through the morning hours on Monday morning. And not a big snow by any means, but just enough to make things slick out there as you're heading out to work or school to start your week there on Monday morning. The Monday morning commute, again, could be a little bit troublesome here across Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, only minor travel delays, but we could be seeing up to an inch of snow in some localized areas. Otherwise, some nuisance types of snow flurries will be moving through the skies as we go through Monday morning. Now, let's look at the evening here for our ridge in the west. We have a big ridge in the orange, and in the east, we got a trough in the blue and green. That trough is continuing to bring some Arctic air into the eastern seaboard, and notice these are where our wind chills reside this evening. Below zero here in these teal colors across the eastern Ohio Valley, down the Appalachians, West Virginia, down into North Carolina, and then the New England region where we have heavy snow on the ground that we have seen with most recent winter storms. That is kind of acting like a refrigerator or a freezer, keeping us cooler here this evening. Here's where our wind chills go as we start at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. May need to bundle up if you're in southern Canada there and into portions of the Northeast, as those wind chills again will be starting off below zero, so make sure to cover up any exposed skin. Frostbite can still occur at about 30 to 45 minutes in wind chills about 10, 20 below zero, so just make sure you are ready for that going into your Monday. Going through the week, that trough that's in the east is going to sit there for a couple of days, and that's going to give us some active weather at times through midweek. That ridge out west, though, eventually will win out, but not really until we get towards the weekend. Over top of that ridge, we're going to be seeing some energy moving down and diving southeast from Canada and into the eastern United States, and that could bring us some snow chances as we go through late in the week and next weekend. So let's identify those here starting Monday morning. Notice we got a few snow flurries, snow showers revolving across portions of southern Canada and the Great Lakes. Not much of a big deal there, just kind of a nuisance. Maybe some snow down in Kentucky, West Virginia, southern Ohio as we go into Tuesday evening. Again, not a blockbuster snow event by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit to whiten the ground. And then as we go through Wednesday looks to be the quietest day. And then as we go into Thursday and Friday, there comes that Clipper system with a strong 989 millibar low up there over Hudson Bay in eastern Canada. And then that is going to drag an Arctic front through. So that's going to reinforce our shot of cold air in the Great Lakes region in the Northeast, with also bringing some snow as we get towards Friday. And then by next weekend, that's going to be some clipper systems moving through Canada. And then we got to watch the Pacific Northwest getting a little bit more active toward next Sunday on February the 8th. We could be seeing higher elevation snow here in blue, lower elevation rain across Seattle, Portland, Medford, and Eugene, down into Northern California, and perhaps northwestern Nevada as well. Snowfall accumulations between now and 7 a.m. on Saturday, February the 7th, we could potentially be seeing a few inches of snowfall. A lot of that will reside in Canada, but we could also see that across the Great Lakes, so Michigan, Ohio, getting into Pennsylvania, down into West Virginia along the Appalachians. And then up there into the northeast, further west, we're going to be fighting the ridge and some warmer air. So the snowfall chances across the Rockies will ultimately be limited until we get to about late next weekend. Here's the cold air. Again, as we go through the week, we can see that Arctic air here in green and blue across the east. Those are below normal temperatures. There's our Pacific air, which is mild air across the west and up into western Canada. That's going to continue to start to shift east. It's going to take some time, but eventually the warmer air will win out. And there's that reinforcing Arctic front that comes through, could really drop us well below normal into the Ohio Valley, but especially the northeast by next Saturday on February the 7th. And that will come with fanfare, again with some snow, but our temperature anomaly is a good 35-40 degrees below normal for next weekend. Going to be a chilly one there in the northeast. In contrast, the northwest, very warm, as we're about 40 degrees above normal next weekend over there. Here's our wind chills Monday afternoon, mostly below zero there into southern Canada. We're seeing single digits, at least that's some improvement across the Midwest and the Northeast. As we go into Tuesday morning, though, we're going to welcome back sub-zero wind chills into North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, 10, 20 below zero, so make sure you're bundling up there on Tuesday morning. Wednesday morning, same deal. Thursday morning as well. And then as we go through portions of next week, here comes that Arctic front diving southeast out of Canada. Yeah, Saturday morning, dangerously cold. Upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. We could be getting to 40 below again in those areas by Saturday morning, 50 below in Quebec and Ontario. So if you live in southeast Canada, it's deja vu again. We got some colder air. Here's the stratospheric polar vortex getting into the middle of the week. Notice the split here, one lobe in Asia or Europe and another one over North America. What this split means is that the cold air leaking from the stratosphere and getting down to the surface of the Earth, that process takes 1 to 2 weeks about to get to that point. So that means we're going to start to see that cold air by mid to late February. So as we talked about, I predicted in mid-January, I said, watch, as we go into early February, we're going to get a moderating trend, and that typically happens after you see a 7 to 10 day period of Arctic air. You see a big spike in your temperatures. Here's that spike with milder temperatures in the middle of the country. Yeah, some Arctic air remains across the Northeast as we go into the second week of February. This is the 8th through the 15th, but then watch, the 15th through the 22nd, there's the Arctic air. It is reloading in Alaska and Western Canada, and it's going to be moving in short order as we get towards the last week of February, the 22nd through the 28th. So that'll be back across the east, and then we're going to start to get mild again in the west at times through late February. Snowfall chances will follow suit, I think, as we go into the second week of February. More snow in the Pacific Northwest, higher elevations especially, and then maybe an Ohio Valley type of snow event, more of a nuisance, I think, by the middle of the month. It's really after the middle of the month. We're pinpointing areas from the Central Plains to the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, but especially the Northeast. That's kind of the track we're watching, roughly from eastern Colorado to Maine. Those areas with everywhere in between, we're watching a snowstorm chance. Again, the 15th through the 22nd could be a big one. And then as we go into the 22nd through 28th, it's really going to be suppressed south. So I think we could pull this snow a little bit further south. The Carolinas could get back in on the snowfall fun. The Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast as well by the last week in February. You can see overall February into the first few days of March looks pretty snowy up here into the Ohio Valley, but especially the Northeast continues to see quite a bit of snow. The Pacific Northwest is also going to start to get active as well towards the middle of the month. And then looking here at our signal around the 15th through 22nd, there's the signal of a more major winter storm somewhere to the north across portions of the plains, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and then the Northeast. The signal is growing there by the time we get to the third week of February. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channels. We continue to keep you covered on the latest winter weather conditions out your door in the United States and Canada, and we also cover the tropics during the tropical weather season. Monthly outlooks. I just posted my February outlook today in the first video. Go check that out. And my seasonal outlook for spring, that'll come out later this month. So a lot coming up here on the YouTube channel, so that's the reason why. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Both are free to do. They don't cost a penny. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope everyone has a wonderful, safe, and warm rest of their weekend out there.